A woman wakes up from unconsciousness. She finds herself trapped inside a maze surrounded by dirt walls. The only clue she has is this cube, shaped like a maze itself. She's freezing and starting, so she starts trying to solve the puzzles on it. Pretty quickly, she cracks the first side. Suddenly, one of the doors clicks open. She pushes it open and looks inside, and there, sitting right there, is a hamburger. She devours it in seconds. Soon she solves the second side. This time, a clean bed appears before her. Now she gets it. This is a sick, twisted game. As long as she solves the puzzles, whoever's keeping her prisoner will reward her. But the puzzles keep getting harder. No matter how hard she tries, she just can't crack them. And in this maze, there's something even worse than hunger, thirst. She searches for what feels like forever. Finally, just before dehydration takes her, she spots a filthy toilet. Without a second thought, she scoops water out of the bowl with her bare hands and gulps it down. But after she drinks it, she completely breaks down. She screams and hurls the cube across the room. But the very next second, she regrets it. She picks the cube back up, clutching it tight, desperately apologizing to whoever's holding her captive. Suddenly, another door opens. A small bottle of clean water is sitting right in front of her. And just like that, the woman barely clings to life for who knows how long. Then one day, she hears what sounds like crying. She follows the sound to an iron door. She wants to comfort whoever's inside. But that's when she notices a note stuck to the door, and it happens to be the combination to the lock. So she dials in the code and carefully pushes the door open. What she sees stops her dead in her tracks. A girl wearing heavy makeup is sitting there, hands behind her back, sobbing. And what the girl says next sends a chill straight down her spine.
I know everything. I am the game. You promised me you send me home after.
The woman slams the iron door shut in terror. After that, she never goes near that girl again. Until sometime later, the smell of a rotting corpse seeps through from the other side. She knows this round of the death game is over. The girl starved to death. And she survived. More time passes, she has no idea how much. Then she notices something moving under her bedsheet. She pulls it back, and there's a black cat. From that moment on, the cat becomes her only comfort in captivity. But after that, her memory goes completely blank, a huge gap she can't fill. When she wakes up again, there's a white-haired doctor standing in front of her, Dr. Green. But the woman just keeps mumbling, "It's all a game, it's all a game." Dr. Green sighs and asks her, "Where do you think you are right now?"
"In the labyrinth."
Wrong. Completely wrong. Dr. Green tells her, "Your name is Samantha. You were kidnapped on your way to school by someone wearing a rabbit mask. You were just rescued yesterday. During all those years in captivity, you were fed massive amounts of psychotropic drugs, which caused temporary amnesia. But it's all over now. The doctor is here to help her recover her memory so the police can catch the rabbit-masked kidnapper. But the woman still can't believe it. She asks how long she was held captive. The doctor slowly hands her a photograph.
"Sam, you were kidnapped 15 years ago."
Looking at her younger self in the picture, the woman finally starts to cooperate. She begins piecing together her fragmented memories. When she gets to the part about the cat, Dr. Green stops her. "A cat? Sam, are you sure there really was a cat with you?" "What do you mean that I made it up?" He tells Samantha to unbutton her shirt and look at her stomach. Maybe it'll trigger something. Half skeptical, she does it. And there on her belly is a clear C-section scar. Suddenly, the memory comes flooding back. What she saw back then wasn't a cat at all. It was a living, breathing baby. And Samantha finally remembers the horrifying truth from 15 years ago. Her kidnapper did unspeakable things to her. That's where the child came from. But the police never found the baby. They only found Samantha, alone, unconscious near a swamp. Even though she's been rescued after 15 years of captivity, Samantha is still living in absolute terror. Because her kidnapper was never caught. He's still out there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, there's someone else who's been tormented by this kidnapping case for the past 15 years. That's our main character, Detective Jack. 15 years ago, Samantha's parents hired him to find their daughter. He took their money, but he never caught the culprit. The case became a wound that never healed. Now he's terminally ill. And when he happens to see the news about Samantha's rescue, the cold case resurfaces. He decides to use whatever time he has left to track down the real kidnapper and keep the promise he made all those years ago. So he wastes no time heading to the swamp where Samantha was found. From the officer handling the case, he learns the person who called it in was a middle-aged man with an extremely raspy voice. But that's all they've got. The phone used to make the call was stolen, and the raspy voice was likely disguised with some kind of voice-changing device. In other words, the caller didn't want to be connected to any of this. He just reported the location and hung up in a hurry. Was he afraid of something? Just as Detective Jack is about to ask around at a nearby bar for information, he hears a familiar voice. Turns out, the caller is this man, severely burned, only able to speak through a voice box. Before he called the police, he saw someone else standing in the woods. Well, not exactly a person. More like a monster, a figure with a rabbit head on a human body. As far-fetched as this sounds, Jack decides to follow up anyway. He heads to the missing persons archive at the station to look for anything related to rabbits. And sure enough, he finds something. Decades ago, a 10-year-old boy named Robin Barso went missing for 3 days. Shortly after he was found, he started slaughtering rabbits for fun and even built a rabbit graveyard in his backyard. Could this Robin Barso be the mysterious rabbit-headed figure the witness saw? Jack follows this lead and tracks down the boy's mother. But to his surprise, she takes him straight down to the basement and hands him a rabbit comic book. Supposedly, Robin brought it back after his disappearance. But the comic looks completely ordinary. Jack can't find anything useful in it. And that's when Robin Barso's mother raises her cane behind the detective's back. When Jack comes to, he finds himself locked in the basement. Upstairs, he hears a heated argument, something about why a detective showed up at their door. From the conversation, it's not hard to figure out but the other person is Robin Barso. Just as Jack tries to get closer to listen in, the old woman suddenly collapses onto the floor. Her blood drips down through the floorboards onto his face. Then footsteps start coming closer and closer to the basement. Luckily, the old detective prepared ahead of time. He bolts out of the basement. In the chaos, he only grabs his car keys, his wallet is left behind on the table. And there, in the shadows, stands the rabbit-headed figure. After his narrow escape, Jack takes the rabbit comic to a collector friend. But the moment the collector sees it, he warns Jack to drop the whole thing. Stay as far away as possible. Because this comic is the embodiment of evil. Hold a mirror up to the pages, and the ordinary-looking drawings transform into terrifying demonic images. This comic has existed since the 19th century. Its primary purpose was blasphemy, desecrating the divine. Beyond that, the collector doesn't know what else it was used for. But just as Jack stubbornly pushes forward with his investigation, terrible news arrives. An email contains a video Jack's informant and his girlfriend have been kidnapped. He rushes to his girlfriend's apartment, but he's too late. She's already dead. And sitting on the bed is the phone he accidentally left behind. This was clearly the rabbit-headed man's revenge. Jack is devastated. But then he hears a noise from the bathroom. He pulls back the curtain and there stands the rabbit-headed man himself, with a stab wound to the abdomen, looking weak. When Jack furiously demands he take off the mask, the man keeps mumbling that he was kidnapped too. His name is Peter Lane. He's a doctor. The killer is his childhood friend, who now works as his family's gardener. And more importantly, his wife and daughter are in danger back at his house. Then the man passes out. Sure enough, when Jack arrives at the house, the wife and daughter have just regained consciousness. The wife confirms that someone in a rabbit mask drugged them both, but she's not sure if it was the gardener. Still, that gardener was always strange, odd-looking, constantly staring at her and her daughter. She used to think he just envied their lifestyle, but now it's clear the guy is a complete psycho. She doesn't know his name since her husband handled all of that, but he shouldn't be hard to find. He has a large birthmark on his face. However, at this point, Jack has no authority to involve any police resources in this case. It was never his case to begin with. He's only investigating for personal reasons. And he was sidelined by the department a long time ago, all because of Samantha's kidnapping case. Basically, years of failing to solve it drove him to drinking. He became a mess. The department only kept him around out of courtesy, sweep the floors and wait for retirement. But he's still the one who cares the most about this case. He heads back to the missing persons archive, determined to start from the very beginning. Robin Barso only became the rabbit-headed figure after being kidnapped, which means whoever kidnapped Robin could still be out there, still committing crimes. The archive doesn't have much to go on. Robin was only missing for 3 days before he came back on his own. But Jack manages to find one small detail. The last place Robin was seen before he disappeared was a church. At the church, Jack not only finds a childhood photo of Robin Barso but also makes a startling discovery with the help of the new pastor. The old pastor who used to serve here had a nickname, Little Rabbit. Could this little rabbit be connected to the rabbit-headed figure Jack's been hunting? Sure enough, when Jack tracks down the now dying little rabbit and explains why he's there, the old man confesses everything. As a child, he was also kidnapped, locked in a pitch-black room. His captor gave him a rabbit comic and taught him how to read it. When he grew up, he passed the comic on to Robin Barso, letting the curse consume Robin, generation after generation. But when Jack pulls out the photo and asks about the boy standing next to Robin, Little Rabbit waits until Jack leaves, then flashes a sinister smile. The true meaning behind that smile is finally revealed when Jack heads to the home of the other boy in the photo. But suddenly, Jack's heart gives out and he collapses. It all clicks into place.
Chi è quest'altro ragazzo nella foto? Questo con gli occhiali? Paul Macischi, mi pare. Sei Paul Macischi. Disegno, parlami del disegno.
Sei un poliziotto. Cazzo. Senti, me l'ha dato la figlia di uno a cui sistemo il giardino, non è mica un reato.
Come si chiama?
Lei è un dentista, ma non si chiamava così prima. Ci frequentavamo da piccoli. Quando è venuto a cercarmi per offrirmi il lavoro, pensava che non lo riconoscevo, ma io l'ho capito subito chi era. Basso si chiamava quello stronzo. Proprio in basso.
After the rabbit-headed man discovered Jack was investigating the kidnapping, he first killed Jack's girlfriend as revenge. Then he deliberately stabbed himself and drugged his own family to stage a sympathy act, all to mislead the police and buy time. He knew full well that with his injuries, the police would send him to the hospital. And from inside the hospital, he could kidnap Samantha all over again without anyone suspecting a thing. The truth is finally out, but Jack's life is slipping away. Meanwhile, the rabbit-headed man, disguised in a hospital gown, is already searching for Samantha. Back in her hospital room, Samantha is still struggling to recall the details of her captivity. The kidnapper would send her a pizza every so often. It was her only connection to the outside world, the only proof she was still alive. But everything changes the moment Dr. Green steps out to take a phone call.
Hello?
You forgot your dress. Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Hello? I need your address for the order. Your pizza. When shall do delivery?
Samantha is terrified. She didn't order any pizza. How is it possible that just as she's remembering the pizza deliveries, a pizza shows up? She frantically presses the call button, but no nurse comes. On the other side of the hospital, the rabbit-headed man successfully sneaks into Samantha's room. But what he doesn't expect is that the figure lying in the bed is a plastic mannequin. See, when Jack was being resuscitated, the doctors found the crucial evidence he'd recorded. So the police set a trap in advance and caught this deranged rabbit-headed freak. But Samantha, held captive for 15 years, had been broken beyond repair. She became a permanent vegetable. Now, if that girl is Samantha, and the man in the yellow shirt with glasses claims to be Dr. Green, then who is the woman who's been piecing together memories this whole time? That's right. The woman is still inside the maze. And the so-called doctor is the kidnapper himself. Right now, he's wearing headphones, replaying the recorded conversation with the woman, completely unaware that she has walked up behind him. She sees the newspaper about the real Samantha's rescue and the Rubik's Cube. The woman in heavy makeup, the police officer standing guard, she walks to a mirror and wipes away a fake blemish. She doesn't know who she really is, but she memorized the maze Matt take to the old man's head. She doesn't alert him. She calmly returns to her room and confronts him point blank.
Are my memories real?
Sì. The rest,
When was the real Samantha Andretti found?
a year ago.
How long have I been here?
367 days.
Why did you make me believe I was Samantha?
It's a game.
Strangely, when challenged like this, the fake Dr. Green isn't surprised at all. He slowly stands up, ready to inject her with drugs again. Clearly, this isn't the first time she's seen through the truth. This has played out many times before, but this time is different. Because the old man doesn't know she's discovered that her supposedly broken legs are perfectly fine. So she must use every ounce of strength and kicks him as hard as she can. Then she grabs the maze mat she found earlier, follows the correct path, and finds the exit. She climbs the ladder. She pushes open the manhole cover. She's free. And it all comes rushing back. She's a police officer. The scar on her stomach? She already had a daughter. But one final question remains. Who is this kidnapper, really? The director doesn't give us a definitive answer. It's an open ending. But those final shots shows case files about the old man on the female officer's desk. She was likely abducted because she'd already uncovered his secret. But somehow, the old man turned the tables and captured her instead. And here's the thing, the old man she kicked down? He didn't look that fragile. Yet he never got up to chase her. Remember what happened to everyone who was kidnapped before? Whether they were released or rescued, they all eventually became twisted, demonic rabbits, passing the curse from one generation to the next. Could the truth be that the old man is also a demonic rabbit? That he let her go on purpose because he believes she's already become the next one? But there's still a hole in that theory. He never gave her the rabbit comic. This film is called Man in the Maze. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.